Hello to all of our Earth2 friends and family. This is the midweek market update, 5/22/2024. We are super glad to have you back for yet another quick video. There are some exciting things to talk about today. As we had a massive action in the community, it has actually seemed to restore some faith. This is Earth2 in the know, and let's get into it. Before we get started, I do want to issue a trigger warning, as some things in today's video, it may be a bit of a difficult approach. This is not ill-intended information, but more so a different perspective on an often evaluated topic inside of the E2 socials. We're just going to come out and be as honest as possible, and believe us, we have never wanted to be wrong more in this lifetime. So we want to just take a second to discuss the Essence token release and the price expectations we've seen being thrown around. As we examine this topic, we are going to yin-yang the heck out of this thing. Meaning that we will examine both the pros and the cons of the release. The half-full kind of people inside of us want us to start with the pros. Obviously, the fact that its total supply is capped at 1 billion is massive. Massive. Especially since we know how fast the ecosystem will burn through the supply. You add in a halving feature, and it's a beautiful coin. Well, token. Which will surely, absolutely reward the long-term holders. Keep in mind, as with anything else that's finite, the lower the supply, the more value it has. Hence why Bitcoin is still number one. As we burn through this token, the value will indeed rise. Granted, E2 is a major success, which we fully believe will be the case. The community behind this project is without a doubt massive, and that's another great asset to have. The use case on this token is embedded into everything that we'll have to do, so we know long term that it's a solid play. Playing the devil's advocate here, we also want to take a look at some of the things that it has against it. First and foremost, in most major ICOs, there's a massive marketing campaign from the team. As we know, Shane has made it well known the token is secondary and non-primary to the project. This may act as a turnoff for many investors who are not long-term holders, and they don't want to be considered bag holders. Another thing that may prevent a huge launch is the fact that so many of the community, well, they're holding for a certain number, and they will not be quick to sell if they don't get to that number. No selling means no buying, and in the end means sideways trading. I mean, that's great if you want to buy the dips and accumulate. It's not super stellar for people wanting it to shoot straight to the moon and retire when they sell their 250,000 essence. Sorry, guys. The whole point of this exercise of looking at this from both sides is that we know nothing in life is ever a sure thing. Well, maybe with the exception of death and taxes. So, as we're on social media sites and chats, and people are making crazy guesses on this run's top, the highest the price will be before we go back into a bear market. Remember, a lot of us are heavily invested, and so we have to believe this is the case. We have to. I mean, why else would we have been waiting for 4 years plus? This has been weighing heavy on us as we see people asking and answering this question with sometimes not an ounce of reason or logic. I mean, people saying that it's going to cost more than Bitcoin. That to me is extreme. I would love for that to be true, but I just don't see that happening, any time in the next 20 years. Now that we've gotten past that, if there's still anyone watching the video or still subscribed at all, let's talk recent news and market conditions. There was a major accomplishment by the team this week in the fact that they pulled off what some people said would be impossible. People have been backdated for their claims, for resources, and they've been rewarded essence. Some members of the community are claiming that there are still claims that have not been rewarded from. However, Shane has said that this was just one round, and there are more to come. So Stay tuned. So, kudos to everyone who was able to make some great returns for their efforts. Well, this would not be a midweek update if we didn't talk about the Sierra Leone release. There was truly some coding issues working against us for a hugely anticipated T3 release, with much of the coveted Iridium up for grabs. We, as in Earth2 in the know, were actually in the field and not next to PCs, and were forced to try to buy from our phone. What a nightmare that was. We ended up buying 750 plus tiles in the water, and not in one plot either. It was like 50 here, 60 here, 150 there, etc., etc. We're guessing the return on the Iridium will be worth it, though. What do you do with water land that's connected like that? I guess, technically, we could open up a virtual fishing spot. The future is endless. Let's go. The market, well, it's been a bit of a roller coaster as we navigate the approach of the Essence launch. Currently, we're seeing the common side droids flooring around the low 70s. Something interesting that we're seeing is that Giliumbo, it's actually dipping under that $6 bottom. Could we finally see some saturation with the oil prospector and the market is starting to reflect? There has been an overall decline in droid purchases, as is reflected with many of the mid-tier droids seeing lows under $2 USD. Could this be the slowdown of the market that will actually cause users to reevaluate the Essence cost versus the rewards? Time will tell. Hopefully we will see some new use case causing another surge in the market. As for now, we do predict more users fighting that floor just to clear out their inventory. When we look at the Starlight Fury, this bottom seems to be consistent, as no one really lets them sit below that $10 USD before buying them to resell and raising the floor. However, legendaries are such a contrast, as we're still seeing them way below $10 USD. Personally, I don't think that you should be selling legendaries right now, as there's just not enough need for them in the market, but that's just me. Let's take a second to pause and talk contest. So this week's contest is a little different, as there have been no skins released in almost a month, so we actually have no 30 days codes left. So we will be giving away a 50 tile plot of T3 land instead. We will be giving away a tier 3 tile 50 plot to one of you guys, or gals, who is a subscriber and likes and comments on this video. The drawing will be this Friday and will be announced on Friday's video. However, if a new skin is released before then, we will offer the chance to take that as a prize instead. Granted, we can even buy any. They don't sell out in like 2 seconds before we look at the computer. Back to market conditions, basic jewels have settled back into the 8-cent market range. As we are coasting closer to the Essence launch, we may see funds being redirected into other parts of development. The Geologist has seemed to regain some momentum, staying at the 8-cent mark consistently, with a few listings breaking it, but only randomly. But just when you didn't think it could get worse for our Egyptian God side droid tech, they've lost even more value, flooring now in the low 60s. People who were able to sell at the $1.50 price point a few weeks back really made out well if this market trend continues. So as I mentioned before, still nothing new on the skin store front. We've almost given up, as many people who were saving their white balance for skins have decided to buy more land instead. I'm guessing that's a win-win situation, because if you're not going to get skins, at least you get land. I feel like a parrot every time I say this, but as always, if you found this information useful, please like, subscribe, follow, and get notified to the channel. Not only does it help us daily to fight the scam tubers and prove to the world that E2 is here to stay, it also pushes us up in the algorithm, allowing us to reach more people and bring in more people to the project once they see how great things really are going. As always, we want to thank all of our regular viewers and welcome those who have not been in here before. We're a great community and we'd be glad to have you. Before we go, we want to remind everyone it is okay to dream big, and we do want Essence to fly to the moon. However, monitoring expectations will definitely prevent some disappointment. The last thing we want to do is get disappointed and start circulating bad feelings online, causing bad press for the project, just because things don't take off as quickly as a lot of people thought they would or felt that they should. It is truly best to be prepared. As always, we absolutely cannot wait to see each and every one of y'all in the Earth2 Metaverse. Peace out for now.